Enough dust for you? That's the end of the mudding, taping, sanding portion of the drywall. Now comes the stuff where you see everything come together. The priming, the painting, all that jazz. I didn't want to put everybody through the boring viewing video of me just doing the sanding. But I'll let you know my process of doing this, the drywall here. And by no means am I a professional drywaller. I've just watched people do it over the years on the job and kind of just, you know, stole with my own eyes. So it's important to have the tools required to do this job. And what I'm going to show you is my process here. I'm not going to show you video of how I'm going to do it, just quickly the knives. So my very first knife that I use is a 4-inch. That is for my first coat that I use. And then when I get to my corners, for my second coat, I like to use a 6-inch. And I'll also use this for the smaller joints as well. From there, if I'm doing the major butts, so a sheet to a sheet, I will go from a 4 to an 8. That'll be my second coat, and then from the 8 I will go to the 12-inch. And I just feather them out accordingly, depending on the installation. It wasn't too bad in this job. So one thing to, like I just said, is it's important to have the right tools on the job. And the title of this video might make you think, like, why would he have a box of ammo for installing drywall or taping and mudding or anything like that? So I assumed, and one thing I always tell people is not to assume anything in life, and I didn't take a chapter out of my own book, and I assumed I had the correct tool for the job. And that was for sanding the drywall itself. I thought I had an attachment for a pole that I could just sand everywhere and it would be fine. However, I didn't have that. I must have left it back home. And I didn't want to bother the neighbor down the street for his tools, and because I'm just the type that wants to get it done. So the idea I came with is I needed a sanding block. However, the sanding block that I could find only around here was some 2x4, and I really didn't want to use that. And so I found a box of 30-06 shells and bullets sitting around, and it's got some good weight, it's a good size, and it actually worked very well. The only thing I had to worry about while I was sanding is not to push too much down on the corners, because it would leave streaks in the sand as well. So a quick note or a quick reminder, make sure you have all the tools, and when you don't, improvise. So now I'm going to open up this primer here, get my brushes out, get my rollers out, and maybe have a shower tonight. So keep with me. Now, it's been a couple days and we have finished priming everything. In fact, we have actually put the coat of paint on the ceiling here. So this bedroom here is completely done. It turned out fantastic. We're completely happy with the job itself. So now on this side here of the office area, this side has just been painted, and this side here has just primer on it, and you can obviously see the difference between the two. And just a quick note, if you don't know, The reason we prime the mud and the new drywall is because the mud and the drywall itself is very porous, and if you were to just put paint on it, the paint wouldn't really bond to the drywall or the mud very well. It would almost look faded. So the reason you put the primer in the sealer, which is just one product, you put that on there and it gives you a nice finish so that you can apply the paint and it gives it a great look. So I typically will prime the corners with just a paintbrush, and then I will head over with a 4-inch roller like this, just so that we're not seeing any brush marks from just applying the primer. And then I have just this half of the ceiling to do, and then we're gonna be headed into the studio part to do that. Yeah, today is gonna be the day that we see a lot of changes. You can already see it in the ceiling. Next is gonna be the wall paint. I do have to touch up a couple spots with primer. So that's another thing I do after I prime everything. I go and check the walls for any damage and give them a quick fix. People like to, that I've seen, they enjoy doing the damage on the walls on their first coat of paint, but then don't realize that as you're moving around during the first and second coat, you're bumping into things. Things are getting hit by other people or by furniture, whatever it may be. So I always wait till the last, and that way it minimizes all the movement and the times I have to go back to those areas to repair. So once I prime those problem spots on the walls, we're gonna be putting the paint on there. Now the thing is, neither Kimberly and I can remember what color of paint it is. We know it's blue, but it's not a baby blue, it's not a navy blue. Kimberly says it's the color of like an iceberg or something. And I'm thinking, well, that's baby blue. So we're gonna find out together and see how it turns out. So pay attention. What a blue! So it's turned out nice. I opened up that bucket and I saw baby blue, and I was like, it's not gonna work out, but I kind of like it. It darkens out a little nicer than a baby blue, or darkens more than a baby blue, whatever, you know what I mean. But we also had to get this drawing up here as well, and or painting, should I say, and we did that now before we did anything else on the project, just because I have to go around and do the final coat of blue on here. And I always do that with my color coats. There's always 2 coats just to give it a proper coverage. But the reason we did that is it's an awkward painting. It's big, it's heavy, it's got an aluminum backing on it, so it probably weighs 40-50 pounds. Probably sell it for some scrap metal right now and get some good coinage on it, right? But no, we're gonna keep it, of course. So it is awkward, so we made some dents in the walls. and that's why we did it now, so that when I go and do the final coat, I can repair all the damage. And because we had to set up the ladders, there's more damage possibly from that too. So now that the ladders are out of the way, the painting's up, I know there's not going to be much damage left in here except for the little bit of smaller paintings we're going to put up. But that's why that is up now. We didn't jump the gun. However, we actually added an extra little bit to this project, and I will show you on the next video, along with how we finish off the shippas, the other little knickknacks that we put on here. So thanks for watching. If you are a subscriber, hit the thumbs up. If you are not a subscriber, subscribe and hit the thumbs up, and also go check out our Instagram page. It's popping. It gives you some behind the scenes looks and more from there. So I'll see you on the next one.